We like to close App Talks by sharing a little peer-to-peer advice. What have you learned throughout this process that you think others might be able to benefit from?
There are quite a few things. One of the things I would say is that any project of this scope, I think, requires a fairly good level of upfront planning. And of course, this is true of any project. I personally, think that the better you plan, the more likely you are to achieve a positive outcome if your plan is an effective one. I would say that in connection with any project, but as the project, scales in terms of size and complexity, and particularly projects that are related to the way in which you transact business, upfront planning becomes really key. Related to that is really understanding the core business requirements beyond, what do we need to do technically to make this happen. What we're finding today in the marketplace, and certainly is true in our case, is that the line of business owner inside the organization, although they may have a marketing function, let's say, or whatever the case might be, the line of business owner today is much more knowledgeable in terms of the impact that the technology systems have on their ability to perform and execute their job function, right? This was certainly true in my case in running our software business, and understanding that in order for me to be able to execute the things I wanted to do from a business planning perspective, I needed to have a systems infrastructure in place that would facilitate that. So as you drive these kind of projects, really understanding what it is the line of business owner wants to accomplish, and not only accomplish for that given project, but where they envision that business going. I think that becomes critically important, because you don't want to be in a position where, okay, you kind of reach the finish line, you implement your solution, and 6 months later there's a change in the marketplace, and your solution can't adapt, right? So you've got to give some forward-looking thinking to this.
It doesn't hurt to have the right partner do that whole process.
No, clearly. I mean, the right partner's key, right? As we talked about before, I mean, you can do all the great planning you want. If you've got the wrong partner, you're not going to have success. So that goes without saying. I mean, the partners are critical. And of course, again, these types of systems tend to have multiple partners who are involved in driving, towards the ultimate results. Ensuring that those relationships are strong and in place is critical to, overcoming some of the obstacles that you're bound to experience in connection with any large-scale system deployment.
That's great advice. It's a great story. Dennis, thanks so much for joining us on App Talks and hosting me to talk about GLOVIA OM.
Great. My pleasure, and thanks for coming. Thanks for the opportunity to share our story. We appreciate it.